COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome, coronavirus 2, SARS-CoV-2. The disease was first identified in December 2019 in Wuhan, the capital of China's Hubei province, and has since spread globally, resulting in the ongoing 2019-20 coronavirus pandemic. On the 20th of March 2020, Prime Minister Boris Johnson requested the closure of pubs, restaurants, gyms, entertainment venues, museums and galleries that evening, though with some regret saying, "We're taking away the ancient, inalienable right of freeborn people of the United Kingdom to go to the pub." The DVSA announced that all pending practical and driving theory tests were to be postponed for at least 3 months in the case of practical tests, and up to and including the 20th of April for theory tests. All candidates were to receive a notification that their tests were rescheduled. On the 22nd of March, the UK death toll reached 281, including what was reported to be the virus's youngest British victim so far, an 18-year-old with underlying health problems. On the 23rd of March, Next was the latest retailer to announce that it was temporarily closing 700 stores due to the pandemic. It predicted a $1 billion loss in revenue due to the virus. On the 23rd of March, Boris Johnson announced in a television broadcast that measures to mitigate the virus were to be tightened further in order to protect the NHS, with wide-ranging restrictions made on freedom of movement, enforceable by law, for a planned lockdown period intended to last for at least 3 weeks. The government directed people to stay at home throughout this period, except for essential purchases, essential work travel, if remote work was not possible, medical needs, 1 exercise per day, alone with household members, and providing care for others. Many other non-essential activities, including all public gatherings and social events except funerals, were prohibited, with many categories of retail businesses ordered to be closed. The Scottish Parliament closed on the 24th of March with plans to reconvene on the 1st of April. The National Assembly for Wales closed to the public on the 17th of March. It reconvened on the 1st of April using Zoom for a virtual emergency Senedd meeting. The Northern Ireland Assembly reduced its workload by suspending all non-essential Assembly business on the 18th of March. It closed to the public on the 19th of March. Public transport during the coronavirus lockdown has also been affected, with South Eastern, the train operating company, on the 20th of March being the first one to announce a reduced timetable, which would come into use on the 23rd of March. On that day, the government announced emergency measures to safeguard the nation's rail network, with season ticket holders given refunds if working from home, and rail franchise agreements nationalised for at least 6 months to prevent train operating companies from collapsing. From the 30th of March, open access operator Hull Trains suspended all services, with Gatwick Express and Grand Central following shortly afterwards.
Customers are reminded that if you are not a key worker and it is not an essential journey, people should not be using the underground system. Once again, if you are not a key worker, you should not be using London Underground.
You must be a minimum of 2 metres away from any person at any time. You don't know if they are contagious.
On the 19th of March, the Stagecoach Supertram light rail network in Sheffield announced that they would be switching to a modified Sunday service from the 23rd of March until further notice. Local bus operators First South Yorkshire and Stagecoach Yorkshire, which operated across the same area, announced that they would be switching to a reduced timetable from the 23rd of March. Transport for London, TfL services were reduced in stages. All night overground and night tube services, as well as services on the Waterloo and City line, were suspended from the 20th of March, and 40 tube stations were closed on the same day. The Mayor of London and TfL urged people to only use public transport if absolutely essential, so that it could be used by critical workers. The London Underground brought in new measures on the 25th of March to combat the spread of the virus by slowing the flow of passengers onto platforms. Measures included the imposition of queuing at ticket gates and turning off some escalators. In April, TfL trialled changes encouraging passengers to board London buses by the middle or rear doors to lessen the risks to drivers. after the deaths of 14 TfL workers, including 9 drivers. This measure was extended to all routes on the 20th of April, and passengers were no longer required to pay, so that they did not need to use card reader near the driver. National Express suspended all. The work carried out by key workers and volunteers is essential during the UK lockdown, with many people volunteering to do recycling rounds and others volunteering for their own Meals on Wheels services to deliver to the most vulnerable people. Key workers like the NHS and other delivery services from Tesco's, Morrison's, Asda, to deliver people their food. Other people who can't even leave their homes to go to the shops due to underlying health conditions.
Morning, hi, it's Brett from OneSquareMeal. We're a charitable donation set up by myself, my wife and a group of friends, and during the sort of COVID-19 we've been putting hot meals together, cooking them from home here and then getting them out to the elderly and most vulnerable in the community. We're averaging about 35 meals, 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. Donations you can put online if you would. We have a Just Giving page on social media. Click, donation, helps us to help other people. Hi there, just out the community delivering the food that we cooked earlier, the cheese potato pie. Like I said, this is what we do with all of us, getting it out there, 35 hot meals, 5 days a week. I'll leave a link on the video. If you want to click it, donate, and it'll help us to feed these people while we're still going through COVID-19. Thank you all.
Hi, my name's Danny. I run the ProUrbex YouTube channel. So basically my lockdown has been good and bad in a way. I've enjoyed spending a bit more time with my family and things like that. And I've also, you know, it's not been fun because I've not been able to go out anywhere, not been able to meet the rest of my crew and go exploring, which is what we would normally be doing. Obviously, I've been working from home, which is, you know, it's all right, but I'd rather be at work, if that makes sense. But I'm enjoying the lockdown, but it also has its, you know, it also has its cons. There's lots of pros to it. Obviously, it keeps us all safe for one, and for another, you know, it gives us time to sort of spend more time with his families and make good memories. Although we're stuck in 4 walls in our houses, we can still make pretty good memories as we go along. But the main thing is that we are staying in our homes and everyone's safe, and it's not all bad. It's not all bad, guys. It's, you know, it's not been, you know, a really bad experience. Obviously, there are drawbacks to it, like I've said. Obviously, I've not been able to go out in weeks and explore with my mates. Obviously, Tyler, Jaden, Nathan, and whoever else we normally go exploring with. And I've also noticed a lot of explorers still going exploring while the lockdown's been in place. And this is something I just do not agree with whatsoever. And I think if you are willing to risk going exploring, then, you know, there's no real need for it. So, yeah, I'm just going to put some clips on of what my lockdown's been like and hope you enjoy. Cheers for including it, Sam.
Lockdown for me has been a massive positive, but also a negative on the other side of things. Now, the positive for me is I've been able to spend so much more time with my family, sort of going out, taking the dog for a walk, seeing my little boy, doing his work for school with him, which I've really, really enjoyed doing. Having that connection and that bond, it's been so good. I've appreciated my family a lot more. I think spending that extra time with them has meant I've had chance to not just be rushing around on a weekend trying to get stuff sorted, or after school when I'm sorting like teas out and food out and things like that. It's meant I've had quality time and decent time with them. Now, on the flip side of that, like I said, there has been massive negatives as well. So the times where it's just been me, I felt lower than I've ever felt before. Not having that connection, not having those people around you that you have on a day-to-day basis, the work friends, and just keeping yourself busy, it's a lot harder than a lot of people think. Now, I'm not a depressive person in the slightest. In fact, I'm quite a positive person, but I found that my low points are so much lower than they would ever normally be. So yeah, for me, I think it's a massive uplift, and also that massive void of friends and family and people that you're used to having round with you that you can't see, like my mum and dad and people like that. So yeah, it has its positives and it's had its negatives.
For a couple in the late 70s, our lives has changed dramatically. We no longer leave the house, apart from going for walks. We no longer see our family, that's our daughters, our son-in-law, and our grandchildren, and only speak to them by video or on Facebook. It is very difficult, but we are lucky in that we have a house with a garden and a good view, so we don't feel completely enclosed. We've also been lucky that we are able to get groceries, and that has been a tremendous advantage. We don't have that as a worry. I think for older people it is very difficult, but I think it's more difficult for youngsters who would like to go out and socialise. We are more used to it. I mean, my social activities, such as the choir I belong to, the WI, an English literature group that I belong to, have all ceased for the time being. They will all start again, and we'll all be back together again. But it may be a while yet before that happens. I think we have to be grateful for all the people who look after us, the people that are caring, the nurses and doctors who are caring for people in hospital, for the people who deliver our groceries, for the people who clear our rubbish, for everyone. I mean, for people who are working, it's bus drivers, everything. So there are very great difficulties, but there are also things that you do have to count as blessings. I do miss not seeing my granddaughter, as she's 3-year-old, and she changes quite dramatically in just a few weeks. Also, it would be nice just to cuddle our children, but for the time being that's impossible. We hope it'll all come to an end quite shortly, but I think it's going to be a while yet. We just have to hope that they'll find some sort of vaccine or some therapy that'll cure this horrible virus. I feel sorry for the people who actually have lost their jobs or whose employment is insecure, because that's a worry, and they have budgets to meet and mortgages to pay and all the other expenses that go with life. It's not an easy time, but we all have to look to the future with some degree of hope. So I think that's what we all have to do, and we all have to take it really day by day. Thank you.
Right, hey, what's going on? My name's Ben. I'm from Ben's Life on YouTube, and the lockdown and how it's affected me. So the way it's affected me is I'm a key worker. I'm still at work, and I count myself lucky because I'm not sat at home being bored like most people. I have seen my family more, which is nice. They do my head in sometimes. But I'm making TikTok videos with them now, so I'm getting them involved like with the content creating, so I'm having more fun with them. Like my mum was my cameraman on my last one when I filmed a toilet roll hitting me in the head and stuff like this. So that's like the goods and positives, like seeing my family a lot, and and I'm gaming a lot as well. I'm enjoying playing Xbox a lot. The negatives are, when I'm in work, our aisles at work are small. They are 2 meters wide, but they are small. And people are pushing past you still. They don't really care about your safety, should we say. It doesn't bother me too much. I'm not that fussed because I wash my hands and I make sure I'm clean and stuff, you know. The next one is, like, people have been stockpiling a lot at work. Not anymore, because we've been like beating them. Nah, we've been telling them not to do it. And they've been listening. They argue back and they swear at you, but then you just kick them out of the shop and you're like, well, don't be that person, man. Don't be greedy. And when they are like, when you get someone like that, the rest of the shop like back you for doing it and kicking them out. And you also see a lot of people not essential shopping. So for example, there was a guy who came in the other day, he bought 3 crates of beer and just walked out. Like, dude, come on, if you're gonna do that, do it with the rest of your shopping. Don't come in again, because you've exposed yourself and you exposed everyone else around you to either your hygiene of the virus, and everyone else is in the shop, including mine, and all your families as well, because someone in that shop could have had it. That's my thoughts on a key worker. You get some plebs in doing that. But apart from that, my life's not that much different. I can't go out and explore. I don't just do abandoned stuff. I do like picturesque, like beaches and all of that. So it sort of sucks. But I'm quite lucky because where I live, if you just look over here, so you see the church, just past that church are some woods. And I'm lucky and I can go out and explore these woods and see some stuff around my area basically. I've got a lot of stuff I can go out and explore. So this is me, Ben's life, just saying how my life has been affected by lockdown. And thanks for letting me do a little bit in your video. Cheers, bro.
Things are different now. We see the empty streets and people staying at home. Shoppers panic buying and kids flaunting the rules. Make sure, for your own safety, stay home, stay safe.